What if I told you that financial freedom has nothing to do with hard work, luck, or the right business model? What if it all came down to 3 skills that you can learn right now? Skills that 99% of people ignore because they're too busy chasing trends and hacks. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what those 3 skills are and how I use them to build multiple 7-figure businesses. My name is Quentin, and over the past 10 years, I've built businesses that have generated over $5 million in revenue with around $1.5 million in profit. I've also been bankrupt twice, lost everything, and rebuilt from scratch. And through all of that, I learned that success doesn't come from tactics or shortcuts. It comes from mastering 3 fundamental skills that most people completely overlook. And by the way, I'm just getting this channel off the ground, so hitting subscribe is completely free for you, but it's really valuable for me. And I promise that in return, I'll keep earning your trust with the best content I can make to help you earn more money and build a better business. So thanks for the love, and let's get into it. The first skill that made me financially free is focus. And if you don't master this one, nothing else I'm about to tell you will matter. Focus means choosing one thing and getting insanely good at it instead of jumping from opportunity to opportunity. Because most people fall because they're spraying their energy everywhere. They try dropshipping, then crypto, then real estate, then AI, and sometimes all at the same time. But here's the truth. You don't build expertise by doing everything. You build it by doing one thing over and over again until you're the best at it. So I'll give you a personal example. I used to think I was working hard. I was putting in the hours, grinding every day, but then I noticed something. I had this bad habit of watching Netflix before bed and playing PlayStation on the weekends. Just one episode here and a little gaming there. And it didn't seem like much. But then I did the math. 1 episode per day, a little gaming on weekends, and it quickly added up to 10 hours per week. That's 40 hours per month. That's a full work week I was throwing away. Now, let's imagine I was earning just $100 per hour. That means watching Netflix and playing Assassin's Creed was costing me $4,000 per month. That's almost $50,000 per year. So I made a decision. I decided to work for fun. Now, in the evenings or during the weekends, I do work stuff I actually enjoy and that gives me energy, like working on business plans, perfecting my offers, or watching YouTube videos that actually teach me something. So how do you actually build focus? Here's the framework I use. So you track everything you do for 1 week, and I mean everything: work, Netflix, scrolling, gaming, meetings, and then ask yourself, if I was paying myself $100 per hour, what would I be wasting money on? And then you cut those things. Then you pick one skill or business model and you commit to it for at least 1 full year. So no switching, no pivoting, no chasing shiny objects, 1 year of commitment. And that's how you build real expertise. Then every week you ask yourself, what are the 20% of activities that are generating 80% of my results? And you double down on those. So you cut or you delegate everything else. So ask yourself right now, am I focused on one thing or am I spraying my energy around different opportunities? And if it's the latter, you know what to do. Focus isn't just about working more. It's about cutting out the distractions and investing your time in things that actually move you forward. So you pick one thing, you get obsessed with it, and you master it. And that's how you win. The second skill is communication. And this is the one that most people get completely wrong. Communication isn't just about talking. It's about connecting with people in a way that makes them want to work with you, trust you, and follow you. You can have the best product or service in the world, but if you can't communicate its value, you will never make money. Communication is how you get clients, close deals, hire great people, and build a team that actually performs. And at first, I thought communication was just about being a smooth talker, someone who always has an answer to everything and who could force his way verbally to get what he wanted. But here's the thing. When you strong arm or convince someone into doing something they don't want or buying something they don't need, they resent you afterwards. And they will probably never trust you again. And it took me years to develop a good relationship with my employees. And it was because I failed to communicate with them properly. I just told them what to do and then I got upset because they didn't do the things the way I wanted. But the truth is, I never took the time to ask if they understood. I never checked in. I never asked if they needed any help. And one of the major changes that took me from 6 to 7 figures was having real conversations with my team and not just bossing people around. Because when you truly communicate with people and they know you're open for dialogue, they also give you ideas. And that's how I grew. I later learned that the best form of communication is actually listening. Because when you listen, you hear what people want, and then you offer a solution for that. People buy that more easily and they like you more in the process. Here's how I turned my communication around. I started using 3 questions in every conversation, and whether it's with clients, employees, partners, vendors, doesn't really matter. So the first question is, what are the top 3 reasons you chose your current solution, partner, strategy, employer? And this tells you what they value. Now you know what to emphasize or improve. Question 2 is, what is the one thing that frustrates you about your current thing? And this reveals their pain point. So now you can position yourself as a solution. And question 3, if you could wave a magic wand and fix one thing, what would it be? And this uncovers their dream outcome. And now you can exactly sell to them what you know they want. So stop pitching, start asking, because the more questions you ask, the more they talk. And the more they talk, the more they trust you. And the more they trust you, the easier the sale. So think about your last client conversation. Did you talk more or did they? If you talked more, you're doing it wrong. Stop trying to be the smartest person in the room. Start listening. Ask questions. Understand what people need. And that's how you build trust, close deals, and grow a team that actually works. And the third skill is endurance. And this is a skill that really 99% of people ignore because it's not sexy, it's not fast, and it's absolutely not easy. Endurance is your ability to keep going when things get hard, when you're not seeing results, and when everyone else around you is telling you to quit. Success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Most people give up after a few months because they don't see immediate results. But the people who win are the ones who can endure the pain, the rejection, the failures, and the setbacks without giving up. My lowest point was between 2020 and 2022. I went bankrupt twice in those years. I lost my whole team twice. Everything I had built was gone. But in 2020, I also became a father for the first time, and I promised my wife she could be a stay-at-home mom to take care of our son. So I had no other choice than to push forward and find solutions. I could have quit. I could have gotten a regular job, or I could have started a completely new business. But I had that promise I made to my wife, and that made me follow through. And it wasn't until I started over for the third time in 2023 with a fresh team that I hit my 7-figure year and got real financial freedom. So here's the thing. Business is hard for everybody. And every so often, someone from your competitors quits. And as long as you stay in the game, you will get ahead. And that's what I used to tell myself. The crisis in 2020 wasn't only hard for me, it was hard for my whole industry. Businesses were failing and I was pulling through. And to be honest, enduring those years was a blessing because it shaped me into the business owner I am today. Endurance isn't just about, toughing it through. It's about having a system to keep going when things get hard, and here is mine. Tie your goal to something bigger than yourself. For me, it was the promise I made to my wife. When you have a promise, you can break. Quitting isn't an option. Every time a competitor quits, you move up. So business is hard for everyone, as I said. And the crisis in 2020 wasn't just hard for me, it was hard for my whole industry. But I stayed in the game. And now a lot of my competitors from back then, especially the smaller ones, are gone. And then every morning I remind myself the success of a man is proportional to the amount of discomfort and hardship he can endure. That's it. That's the mantra. When things get hard, don't ask yourself, should I quit? Ask yourself, what would I do if quitting wasn't an option? And that question changes everything. I mean, think about the last time you wanted to quit. Did you push through or did you give up? And if you gave up, what would have happened if you stayed just one more month, one more week, tried one more time? As I said, the success of a man is proportional to the amount of discomfort and hardship he can endure. And if you can outlast everyone, you will win. Now, you might be wondering, if these skills are so important, why do 99% of people ignore them? It's because they're too focused on trends, building new funnels, trying business hacks, or looking for a shortcut to get ahead faster. They think AI is going to start a business for them. They think there's some secret tactic that's going to make them rich overnight. But here's the truth. In business, slow and steady very often wins the race. I see a lot of people who aren't willing to endure anything. They quit as soon as things get, slightly uncomfortable. And I think AI is actually making this worse because it makes things look easy. I mean, you can create a business on paper in an afternoon with ChatGPT. But the thing is, you don't learn anything from it. And when you have to execute, you notice that it's not that simple. And then people quit. This is why I think that people who take the time to do their research, who are willing to try and fail, will win over people who think that AI will start a business for them. So let me make this super practical for you. Here's exactly what you need to do. For focus, tonight you start a 40-hour audit. So you track your time for 1 week, and then you cut up 20% of activities that you are wasting time on and that are costing you money. For communication, in your next client or team conversation, use the 3 questions I gave you. As I said, stop pitching, start listening, and write the questions down if you have to. For endurance, write down your promise. What's the one thing you're committed to that's bigger than yourself? Put it somewhere, you'll see it every day. I mean, on your desk, on your phone, on your mirror, wherever. Do these 3 things, and I guarantee you'll see results within 30 days. So there you have it, the 3 skills that made me financially free. Focus, communication, and endurance. Master these 3, and I promise you, financial freedom is inevitable. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And if I could tell my 20-year-old self something, it would be this: focus on communication. Focus on understanding people better. Because if you understand people and you learn to align their goals to yours, well, that's how you win. Now, if you want to go deeper, I've created a free workbook with a custom AI tool to help you make your first $1,000 online. You can download it from the link below. And if you want to see how I build my business step by step, watch this video next, where I break down my entire blueprint from 0 to $1 million. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.